Coming in at number 8, Florida. The Gators were fairly quiet in the portal, but were loud on the trail lately. A top 10 class from Billy Napier that features a top 5 wide receiver in the group, Vernell Brown. He and the top 8 wide receiver, Dallas Wilson, certainly make their returning 5-star quarterback, DJ Lagway, very happy. The Gators are really, guys, a perfect example of on-field results turning into wins on the trail because they were kind of late bloomers here in this cycle. What did you see from the Gators as of late?
Late bloomers. I mean, this is the DJ Lagway effect. And really, DJ Lagway is allowing Billy Napier to build it Billy Napier's way. You said Florida not all in on the transfer portal. That's because Billy Napier wants to build this through the high school ranks. And Florida, you go back to October, this was a recruiting class that was sitting in the 50s. Okay, where are they right now? Are we number 8 after they added Onis Konobani, a cornerback, a high 3-star cornerback yesterday? 14 flips from October to now down the stretch. I mean, they went and they basically got whoever they wanted to. And DJ Lagway's a big reason. You know, we've been around some of these kids at the All-Star games. Hilton Stubbs is someone that comes to mind. I mean, he was committed to Miami throughout the process. He ends up flipping to Florida at the buzzer. And I was talking to him. He's like, yeah, man, I saw DJ Lagway. I was in the swamp for the Ole Miss game. I saw what he could be at some point down the line. So, you know, Billy Napier, he knew he had a quarterback in DJ Lagway. Graham Mertz getting injured, was really a blessing in disguise. DJ Lagway ended up starting 7 games. He won that 3-game stretch in the bowl game, and there's a ton of excitement, and that's what a polarizing player, a polarizing talent like DJ Lagway can do. It can get you a seat at the table with a lot of these recruits. I mean, Florida, it's completely different narrative than it was a year ago.
They had a Usain Bolt type finish. I mean, you and I, for most of, I think 11 out of the 12 months, were just a little perplexed. Yeah. And really, you got to give credit because at the time it felt super wonky. But AD comes out, the whole Lagway gets hurt versus Georgia, and you're like, all right, I don't know. It's kind of like a wounded animal. I don't know if they're going to make it, right? Billy Napier, the whole gang over there. DJ Lagway gets healthy. The injury doesn't end up keeping him off the field as long as you think. But Scott Strickland came out and made a really aggressive move. I mean, I get it. He's tied to Billy Napier, the athletic director at Florida, but he said he's going to be back for the next year. And then after that, between what they did on the field and the momentum that they captured off of it, it seems like Florida, tale of two halves in terms of what they've been able to do over the last couple months of the season. Now, from a transfer portal standpoint, they're really quiet. They went out, they got J. Michael Sturdivant from UCLA, who I really like, and a guy that can fly. I think he's going to match up like a beautiful wine with DJ Lagway, their way that he can stretch the field as well. And then a nice piece from Southern Miss and Michael Caraway. These safeties are really hard to find. He's a versatile kid. But I'm looking at this. This is not the NFL. I don't have Patrick Mahomes for the next 2 years. I got 2 years of DJ Lagway. That's it. He's more than likely going to be 3 and done. And Andrew said it. He played 7 games last year, so that red shirt is burnt. And this kid is a really talented, mature, traitsy kid. He is not Anthony Richardson, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean the way that this guy, he's further advanced physically than Anthony Richardson was at the same stage. So what I mean by that, there's going to be a lot of NFL evaluators out there who every year, every cycle, they're just sniffing around. Who's the next quarterback, right? Is it Jackson Dart? Is it Tyler Shuck? They'll make him appear even if he's not there. DJ Lagway is going to be a guy that they're going to love. And if I'm Florida, you got a chance at second life here, right? Nobody thought you were going to be in this position. Now you are. Why wouldn't you go all in this cycle? And I get it. The response is, well, we like our roster a lot. We got a lot of veterans, and we spent a lot of our money retaining these guys. I just don't understand because how often does Lagway come along, right? And Lagway is the difference of this team, not anybody else. And they got some really good parts, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. The guy in the middle makes it go. The guy on the Gatorade commercials, who's a really, really special kid. So you better put everything around him while you got him because you're not going to have him for long. So that's how I feel about that.
No, I mean, and as a prospect, too, you guys, obviously, you know him way better than I do, but he just, in terms of rankings, just kept getting better, too. So
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think that speaks to Florida, just how they feel about the two deep and what they have, Cooper. Like, 100%. I get what you're saying. Hey, you could have went and grabbed these guys, but I don't think that's the culture that Billy Napier has established. I mean, there has been points in his tenure. It's like, all right, is he going to tear up the plan, and is he going to go into the portal? And he has not done that, right? He has believed in his process. He's believed in how he has built this thing. He's believed in his evaluations. Florida last cycle, the 2024 group, I mean, they were decimated down the stretch. Guys flipping elsewhere. You know what? They pivoted to plan Bs, and a lot of those plan Bs are looking like plan A's. Jaden Ball, the running back, that was a guy that was not the number one target throughout the cycle for Florida. I think that's where Billy Napier and his staff is scary good. And to me, I look at the two deep, especially on that defensive side of the ball, man, and I get fired up because these are guys we like. Cameron James, you don't know the name, get to know it. I think he's a budding star in the SEC. LJ McCray, the two linebackers, Miles Graham, Aaron Charles, the secondary. They got big, long, athletic guys. They returned the starting five on the offensive line. I think the biggest addition to them is Jake Slaughter, all SEC center coming back. That guy went into the NFL draft. He was going to be a day 2 selection. That's the dude that's pointing out the protection for DJ Lagway. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. Maybe you pay to keep a Jack Pyburn. But for me, I get this feeling that Billy Napier is trying to create a winning culture. Hey, we're going to do it our way. And I admire for him for sticking to the plan, right? He hasn't bailed yet. DJ Lagway is giving him that shot of life to see this thing through.
Here's the thing. To your point, I understand that, and I understand the process. The other point of this is you don't know what that bracket's going to look like. Florida is a more than capable team to get to the college football playoff that all of a sudden could look up and they're in the national championship, right? And that's kind of the point that I was making earlier with Notre Dame. It's a piece here or a piece there, and that's a beautiful thing. Give Billy Napier credit, even amidst all that adversity that they had gone through in the last couple of years. He stayed true to his process, and he deserves a ton of credit for that. What I'm saying is you have the guy at quarterback, and you better batten down the hatches and make sure that you give him in that defense and every other unit everything that they need, because you have a window here over the next 2 years where you can go and actually make more than a little noise. You can be a contender. So if they feel good with that, like you said, they're a very talented team, and they feel good where these guys are on their timeline, I'm all for it. I think they're going to be a really, really fun team to watch.
So what pieces did they give him here in this 2025 class?
Wide receivers, you said it, Vernell Brown. Like behind the scenes in the 24/7 Sports Scouting Group, I don't think, there's a player that we kind of love more and how he is wired. I mean, me and Smoke were talking about Jeremiah Smith being a pro's pro. You get around this kid, and he is just wired the right way. You want him on his team. And I know there's going to be some Florida fans, well, why isn't he a 5-star prospect for you? Hey, he doesn't have the biggest measurables, but I think he can be the next Eugene Wilson, right? He's a gadget player. He competes. He's excellent in contested catch situations. I really like that addition. And then there's some sneaky individuals where you got to turn on the tape and you got to see the vision. Joseph Mbachu, who was committed to Texas, decommitted. Florida somehow gets him back in the boat. This is a kid that has not played a ton of football, but you look at him, 6'4", 275 pounds. I believe he's got a basketball background, came from over in Africa. He is tight-skinned, right? That's what you want to see. Stephon Shivers is right next to him. Stephon Shivers was at one time committed to Georgia. He reminds me of Tadarius Slayton, who played some football in Florida years ago. Now he's with the Green Bay Packers. So I really like this group. Again, Dallas Wilson, the wide receiver. It's a fun group. And really, it probably could have been better. All that noise around Billy Napier before the whole DJ Lagway breakthrough, that hurt Florida on the recruiting trail. They were not able to go after in court and bring in some of these blue chip prospects for official visits because everyone was questioning what is Billy Napier's future. A lot of recruits wrote them off. So they rallied. It could have been better if all that noise wasn't there. Let's see what they do in 2026.
Yeah, it wasn't just a little hot seat talk. It was a matter of when, not if, when it came to Billy Napier, but put together a fantastic class here. Number 8 overall for the Florida Gators. And if you want to read up more on all of the great talent that they have coming in, you can check out Gators or Swamp 247.com for all things Gators